let's see what else I got coming up next. All right, that's it. So we got retro review stuff. We're done with modern review for the day, so we're going to go through our September 23rd, 1996. So we did Mind Games last week. WWF Mind Games. It was a pay-per-view. And we also have covered WCW. Like, we've done a review of the show that happened exactly on this night.
Yes.
We already have a review of that, so I'll put that in the description. But yeah, on episode 85 of the Malapert Smark Podcast, we reviewed. This was an NWO Hostile Takeover day. So it was one of those days where they didn't want to have anybody have a match. They didn't let any WCW wrestlers have a match, and they booked their own matches. So they booked six. This was Six's debut, so Six had their own match. NWO hijacked the show. So they're on fire. They're hot. It's a hot angle. They're in the swing of it. And WWF are struggling. I think some people would call this show maybe even the low point of WWF.
The specific show? Oh, yes.
This specific show. Well, we're going to get the conclusion of that Razor Ramon / Diesel is coming back storyline that JR has been hooting and hollering at. So, all right. So we did our review of Mind Games last time, and this is the fallout of that. So this is the Monday night, the very next night. So I'm going to go to our blog post, and I'm going to do some watch-alongs today, I think. So we watched this last night, though. Right, Vlad? Me and you?
We did.
Did we try to? Oh, you see, I had watched Elimination Chamber with Vlad, and I had some drinks. We tried to watch this and get prepared for the show. But honestly, I didn't remember much of this. I remember all of Elimination Chamber, though. But all this I had to watch again to prepare for the show today.
That sucks. I can't imagine rewatching this episode again. Okay. But yeah, let's go through it.
Storyline number 1, JR puts himself over amidst the return of Diesel and Razor. So this is the day. Diesel and Razor are coming back. They've been advertising this. They were even at the show the night before. They were at that the Mind Games pay-per-view, and they attacked Savio Vega backstage. So I don't know what the hell people were thinking at that point. You know, I wish I could interview someone who was actually watching this day to day. And could comment on what the hell they were thinking. So to open the show, they did mention, they showed a replay of Nash and Diesel, or two guys who are in their gear, in their costumes, beating up on Savio Vega backstage. And Savio Vega was interviewed, and he was like, I don't know what I saw. I don't know what the hell happened. But
That's right.
Okay, so let's listen to the opening of the show, and I think they're going to announce. This is when JR is going to say, "Hey, these guys are coming today. They're gonna be here." Hold on, let me turn off the audio.
Will go one-on-one with Farouk. What a battle! It's going to be a great matchup. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, Big Daddy Cool Diesel and the bad guy Razor Ramon are in the house. They are here, and we're going to have them right here live tonight on Raw.
All right. So there he is. So JR's big reveal. It's gonna prove that he hasn't been bullshitting this whole time, because everyone has been crying bullshit because Hall and Nash are on WCW. There's no goddamn way. But what's this guy's name?
They call him Doc Hendricks. What the fuck is his real name? It doesn't matter. Let's go with Doc Hendricks.
Doc Hendricks. Yes. So he's in their locker room. There's a locker room that says Razor and Diesel. And he even peeks in and sees like somebody dressed in, but they slam the door in his face. But, all right, I'm going to cut to the end of the show. So this was the final segment. So JR is going to cut a promo to close the show. So I listened to this last night, but I don't remember it. So I want to listen to it again because I just remember it being like fucking crazy. But let's listen to JR's promo here. And he's going to introduce Razor Ramon and Diesel back to WWF at the end of this. So here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before I was so rudely interrupted with a commercial break, we're going to conduct this interview right now. And in just a couple of moments, I want to bring Big Daddy Cool Diesel and Razor Ramon right out here. But before I do, I'd like to just beg your indulgence for just a minute or so and tell you something that I've got on my mind. It's something I've been waiting to say for a long, long time. telling you, many of you are going to question my loyalty to the World Wrestling Federation. So let's clear that up right now.
What are you talking about? I have no idea.
I have no loyalty to the World Wrestling Federation. I've only got loyalty to good old JR. Let me tell you why. In 1993, I left a great job in Atlanta, Georgia. And I left the Atlanta Falcons of the National Football League to go to the recognized leader of sports entertainment, the WWF. And I came here to be the primary play-by-play man in the WWF. I don't think anybody here is going to disagree that I'm the best play-by-play man in the whole damn business.
Yeah.
Putting himself over. JR putting himself over.
Well, that part's true. I do agree. He is the best play-by-play guy probably of all time. Well, definitely of my lifetime. I mean, there could have been some guys that I'd never heard or saw, but definitely of my lifetime, it's not even close.
I really don't know. This is
So I show up for work the
uncomfortable.
first day at WrestleMania 9 in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they give me a sheet to wear. They said, oh, it's going to be a toga. You'll look good in the toga, JR. I leave the National Football League for a toga. It's crap.
He's mad at that about having to wear the toga at Caesar's Palace, huh? Okay, so he held that in his heart for quite a long time. Okay, interesting. Let's carry on.
He has more.
Ladies and gentlemen, I go to the first King of the Ring in Dayton, Ohio, and I guarantee you, you listen to that broadcast. I carried the broadcast from ringside. And then did you ever wonder where old JR went to? Why isn't JR doing play-by-play anymore? Let me tell you why. Because the egotistical owner of the World Wrestling Federation, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Vince McMahon couldn't stand the competition.
Why is he doing this? This is rather unfortunate.
So JR disappeared. And then on Super Bowl Sunday in 1994, I woke up with an affliction called Bell's palsy. And my entire left side of my face looked like I had a stroke. You think I like that? You think I like that my left eye doesn't open all the way because I got sick? Let me tell you how warm-hearted Mr. McMahon is. Mr. McMahon called me into his office on February the 11th, 1994, and he fired my ass.
God, well, all right, that one I'll accept as a valid complaint. Like the toga thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, what is going on here? He's running down the WWF. He's trying. That's the idea here.
Well, it's a very strange thing because what did they think? What did they think this was? I mean, obviously this is a work shoot, and I think.
How does this benefit the WWF, though?
I couldn't come up with. That's what I'm saying. I think that's the criticism. Like, yeah, this was a great promo for JR. Like, just to get all the shit that he probably did feel off his chest live on TV, but it's on their. It's like something AEW too. Like, how is this going to help business? How is this going to help anything? Especially when you're about to reveal that it's who actually Razor Ramon is and who. Well, I guess they didn't reveal Diesel in this episode, but same thing. You know, it doesn't really matter at that point. But anyways, continue.
So I get back in my car, and I'm driving to my home in that overpriced hellhole, Connecticut, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to tell my wife and my two little girls that their daddy had just got fired. And so then, remember when McMahon got indicted? Then you just come back and do Raw.
In fact, can't believe they let him say this on TV.
Go again. So finally,
I mean, maybe they thought this whole work shoot was just gonna be interesting to people. They needed anything to get ratings. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Here's JR. going off on Vince and everybody. Like, that's got to turn heads. Just got to turn some people over. You turn the channel and JR is going crazy in the middle of the ring. But okay, we only got a couple minutes left in this. Let's let it run out.
Yeah, let's let it run.
Hired me back for 50 cents on the dollar to come back and work in the front office. Do you think that all these guys leaving the WWF was an accident? Hell no, it's not. You think all these guys coming here was an accident? Absolutely not. I've been very busy. And right now, I want to bring back one of your favorites.
He said you guys think people leaving this company for other companies is an accident. No, I made that happen. I'm the one that's been telling people to leave because this company sucks.
Oh, I see. So he was implying that he's the reason that Hall and Nash left in the first place. Is that what he was trying to imply?
Yes, and he's also in charge of bringing people back in. So now he's saying, well, I'm bringing this person in now. I don't know. This is all over the place. Yeah, this is...
Razor Ramon!
All right, so this is the introduction of Razor. So the people cheer. They pop first.
They probably thought there's a chance that it could be
There's
Scott
the
Hall.
music. They play the music, Razor's old music.
Which was a great theme.
And then the crowd goes silent. The first second they cheered, and then this guy comes in. It looks like this guy looks like I don't know what he looks like. I was gonna say he looks like our friend Red.
But he doesn't look like anything like Scott Hall.
Yeah,
he's closer to Ren than he is to Scott Hall.
Oh my goodness! So here comes the guy. Here comes the new Razor Ramon. I mean,
oh Lord.
I mean, I've heard some circles say that they thought the idea was that they could just replace certain people. Like, eventually they would have like an Undertaker replacement.
Right.
You know what I mean? They could just bring someone to play the Undertaker. Like, wouldn't that be great? You wouldn't have to pay Mark Calloway anymore. We could just say, oh, you think you deserve this much money? We'll just bring anyone to play the Undertaker. Like, if this worked, if this angle worked,
right,
and people sort of accepted Razor and Diesel, I think he could have maybe thought about doing that with other wrestlers and other characters. You know what I mean? But
well, then I guess we should all be thankful that this failed miserably.
I mean, all right, let me play out the rest of it and see if anything happens.
That's not the worst. What is this? How do you like?
You know, the commentators are certainly not putting it over because Kevin Kelly's like, that's not the original Razor. That's not him. What's going on here?
WWF, how do you like Razor Ramon? How do you like that, McMahon? Like he's a little bigger than the last time I saw him. What is JR trying to do? Is he trying to embarrass the World Wrestling Federation?
Is he trying to embarrass the World Wrestling Federation? So they're not putting him over, definitely. They're not putting this guy over, whoever it is.
Razor, how's it feel to be back in the WWF?
Oh yeah, man. Chico, take a look at the bad guy, man.
Wait a second, Bobby Omega! Wow!
All right, so then Savio Vega hits the ring, and they brawl, and the show goes off the air. That was it. Oh my goodness! All right, so then they were going to reveal this fake Razor and fake Diesel, and they didn't even get a chance to reveal the whole Diesel, the fake Diesel.
No,
to reveal the fake bullshit storyline.
Then we get to reveal the fake Diesel in the next week, which is, oh god, yeah, you're right. It's terrible. It's terrible.
All right. So there's our first storyline from this day. Let's see what ratings we gave on this. I think Robert didn't watch the show. He's probably sick. He might have watched it, but we don't have a rating from him today. Vlad's at a 0, and I'm at a thumbs down. Vlad actually said the JR promo he liked, so you're giving that a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then the Razor reveal, though, was a thumbs down, so you leveled it out to a 0.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Interesting. Okay, so we've covered this whole thing. I'm going to make this a playlist, Vlad, of all our coverage of this whole storyline. But do you have any comments on this? I know this is the end. We knew this is where it would come to, but this isn't the end though, because these guys are actually going to wrestle and be on the show, right? So
yes, for at least for a little while, yes.
All right, so let's hear some comments from you about how this whole thing finally went down.
I mean, I don't think there's really much to say. I mean, I thought the JR promo itself was obviously pretty good, despite what we just said about how it made no sense and why they would let him say all this stuff, and yeah. But I guess to the bigger point of the reveal of the fake Razor, I mean, if Vince really thought they could just put anybody in these characters that he quote unquote created, he was just being stupid. It was just being stupid, man. That's really what it comes down to, because it's not just like, this is not like somebody playing Disneyland characters at, you can't see their face or anything like that. These were actually people that people saw year in, year out. So they weren't going to enjoy this no matter what happened. There was no way this was going to end up working out any shape or form that they presented it as far as I could see. So, yeah, I mean, this is one of the most failed wrestling ideas that Vince had, probably.
Yeah. Well, man, there's something about the seed of that idea that I kind of like. The idea of continuing on a character like forever, but not in this case. Like in this case, obviously, with Razor and Diesel have gone to WCW, and this is just ridiculous. You don't want to be talking about them when they're on the other show and all that. So there's a lot of things that's wrong with this. But potentially for certain things, I could see a character working where they change the quote-unquote actor or wrestler, especially if someone's wearing a mask, maybe.
And I'm sure that's happened maybe in Mexico or wherever, where like they just that you could be like the next whatever Sin Cara or whatever. I don't know.
But okay, I mean, I think if they really wanted to, they could have pushed the issue. They could have had the commentators put it over, and they could have tried to work with these characters and continue on. But since they made it a joke for these especially...
Oh, you mean they should have said, like, oh, that is Razor. They should have just bought into it? Like, should they have said, like...
Yeah, they shouldn't be saying, oh, JR is trying to make a mockery of WWF, and what is he doing here? He's trying to fuck us over. Like, stop saying all that. I think potentially if they treated it seriously, it could have been... They could have let these characters continue on the show, and they would have just been Razor and Diesel, But
I have a hard time seeing this. No, I just don't think it would have worked either way.
Do you know how long these two actually remain on the show as Razor and Diesel?
I can't tell you exactly, man. No, I don't remember. It wasn't very long. I'm gonna say a couple months, maybe. I think. What are we in September? This is September. I want to say probably. I want to say they're there at least till the end of this year, but maybe even beginning of '97. So, but how long it goes after that, I don't know.
Interesting. All right, well, let me move on from this then. So I got a couple more watch-alongs I want to do before we call it a night. So I'm going to do the Stone Cold stuff. So Stone Cold was on this show. Let me jump around. I'm jumping around to storyline number, I think it's 6 right here. No. 7. Sorry about this, everybody. All right, storyline number 9. So Stone Cold is still on Bret Hart's case. So he's been trying to egg Bret Hart on. Bret Hart hasn't been there. Bret Hart was a no-show at Mind Games. He didn't show up. That's a long story, but Stone Cold cut a promo in his absence. And here he is again. He's joining commentary here for the Triple H versus the Stalker match. And we can play just a little bit, just a little taste of Stone Cold for the day. And listen to what he was talking about Bret Hart at the beginning, before the match starts.
Joining us right now is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mr. Austin, you created quite a stir last night in your house.
Shut up!
We want to talk a little bit about Bret the Hitman Hart. Hitman used to go around the WWF. He claimed to be a great artist. Then I came along. Take a look at this artwork right here. My artwork on the cover of the comedy magazine that's out today. He knew he wasn't the greatest artist of all time. He used to claim to be the greatest wrestler. Then Steve Austin came along, and now he's hit the high tail.
I got something I'd like to make clear right now. Because of the censors, I can't use the word I'd like to use, but I'll use a word that rhymes with it. I spit on the life, the career, and the family of Bret the Hitman Hart. Whoa!
God damn. He shits on the career, life, and family of Bret Hart. Man, he's really trying to egg him on now at this point. If Bret comes back and doesn't respond to this guy, then he's a wuss.
And if his parents would have been smart enough to practice safe sex some 30 years ago, I wouldn't be dealing with him right now.
Well, Hunter Hearst tells me.
If his parents practiced safe sex, then he wouldn't have to deal with him right now. Okay, so
Yes.
this was a dud match. Mr. Perfect against the Stalker, but Stone Cold did have a good line during the match that I caught. He said, "Why is Barry Windham have that ridiculous paint on his face? We all know who that is."
Yes. Well, that's what everybody was saying. I'm sure. Like everybody was saying. Every wrestling fan was like, "Oh yeah, that's just one of the big stars in the NWA for what for the longest time, right? Through most of the '80s, and they put him in this ridiculous gimmick. God, it's just all over the place bad."
Barry Windham. All right. So this was another one of them matches. I'm not going to cover this storyline, but this was another one of them things where Mr. Perfect came and stole Triple H's girlfriend away again. But
yes.
I don't know where that goes. I don't think it goes anywhere because Mr. Perfect probably going to get stolen away from WCW sometime soon by WCW. So, all right, but let me go on to my next watch along. So, The Undertaker and Mankind. So they had a fight the night before. As what's his name? Shawn Michaels defended the title against Mankind, and Undertaker came at the very end. So hold on, let me find this right here. And then to open the show today, they announced a Buried Alive match. So they didn't really even set it up or anything. They just came on and they're like, there's going to be a Buried Alive match. You know what I mean? So let's play. I guess they start with a replay of what happened the night before. And in the post match of the Mankind and Shawn Michaels thing.
Incredibly, the Undertaker materialized from inside the casket. The Undertaker attacked his betrayers, and they fled. Mankind and Paul Bearer will have nowhere to run, though, on October 20th, because in the first ever non-sanctioned WWF pay-per-view match, the loser will be buried alive.
Wow, the wound.
All right, so there's a feud that got put on hold because Mankind, or Paul Bearer turned on The Undertaker and went with Mankind. But then they put it on hold as Mankind went to fight for the title. And then he didn't win against Shawn Michaels, and now they're going to have a Buried Alive match. So they're just, what do you think of how they announced that, Flash? They're just going to have a Buried Alive match. They could have set that up a little better, right? Like, they could have challenged, like, Buried Alive.
That's true.
Instead, it was just Kevin Kelly going,
to start the show, right? Yeah. Or I don't know if it was even to start the show. They had the sign up there, right, from the very beginning, right? It said Buried Alive. Yeah, you're right. They should have probably done it a different way than they presented it, but a lot of things should have been done differently around this time in WWF.
All right, so let's listen to The Undertaker's promo. He's in a cemetery for anybody just listening, audio only.
At SummerSlam have just begun to heal. But there's one scar that I shall carry for all of eternity. The scar of betrayal. Paul Bearer.
So he's still hurt by Paul Bearer betraying him.
Oh yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that.
Here's an emotional Undertaker here.
Mankind. Last night, you witnessed who truly is the master of the mind game. And Mankind, I have condemned you to eternal damnation. Mankind, I am going to bury you alive.
Nice. Well, that was great. I like that a lot. I might change my ratings on this, but okay, that was really good. The Undertaker's part was really good. All right. Before we get comments, I'll play Mankind and Paul Bearer's response.
It was the Undertaker. It was all the Undertaker's fault. He was the reason that you lost the WWF Championship last night.
What? The Undertaker wasn't even involved until after the decision was the match was over.
That's true. That made no sense. But yeah.
He joined in our casket, the casket that belonged to us. But you know, we still have the power of his mind. Events of last night were squirming like maggots. Why did he mine? Because I can't figure out how did he get there. He wasn't there. But you see, Undertaker, you come to view last night as your gravest mistake, because you took something that was really destiny and made it personal. I can feel it. This is the spot. This is where the Undertaker wants to bury you alive. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. You see, Undertaker, you took something that was mine, and now I've got no choice but to take something that's yours. Your last breath. And I will make it mine. Mine. Oh, mine. Have a nice day.
Can we do this interview?
All right. Then we go back to JR. But okay. So let's see some ratings for this Undertaker and Mankind promo battle, basically. I mean, I think it was good. Kind of came out of nowhere. Thumbs up from both of us, by the way. But when you look at the whole show, what it is, and then suddenly this supernatural shit comes out where they're in a cemetery and they're going to bury each other alive. It just kind of comes out of nowhere to me. Maybe that's why I didn't give it a higher rating than a thumbs up. What about you? Any comments from you?
Well, no, he probably didn't deserve a better rating. But compared to the rest of the show with Barry Windham as the stalker, the Body Donnas, Farouk with some, I don't even know, a toilet seat on his costume. I mean, all this nonsense. Like this is actually better than anything else they had going at that time, believe it or not. So, yeah, it's the supernatural, but geez Louise, everybody's gimmick was a disaster, outside of maybe like a few select people that basically never really changed the gimmick or didn't have to. But, yeah, this was good. It was a good promo. It was creepy. It fits what the feud that has been happening since I guess Mankind joined the WWF. So really good creepy feud.
All right, next topic. We're gonna get our daily dose of Jim Cornette. So we only got a couple little short watch-alongs left. So Cornette, Corny, your boy.
Good old Cornette.
Your boy, yeah. Well, we got a short promo here today. I guess Clarence Mason stole his boys the night before on Mind Games.
That's right.
So Clarence Mason is commentating during this Owen Hart and British Bulldog match as they face the Body Donnas. So let me pull up. I think I got some images on this. There's Clarence Mason on commentary, and then Cornette's going to come in via remote. So let's listen to Jim Cornette talking. He's going to comment not only on Clarence Mason, but on Jose Lothario. So I will get your comments on that Jose Lothario feud continuing on as well. But this is going to be two separate storylines. So let's just listen to it, and we'll talk about both of them afterwards.
What do you mean problems with the smoking guns last night? Right now, standing live is the man, Mr. Mason, I think you owe an apology to. That's Jim Cornette.
You better believe you owe me a stinking apology, you little peanut-headed shyster. I signed a piece of paper for you to represent me to sue Jose Lothario for assault and battery, and you hornswoggled me out of a tag team. I'm going to tell you something. You're a crook, and I'm going to get you disbarred, disarmed, dismembered, and any any other kind of diss I can. And I'm going to get my own revenge on Jose, because next week, right here on Raw, me and Vader are taking on Shawn Michaels and Jose Lothario in a tag team match. And I'm going to get even with Jose, and Vader's going to get Shawn. And then Clarence Mason, I'm calling some kind of journal. I'm calling some kind of bar association. I'm calling anybody I can to get even with you. You no good, dirty, stinking back.
All right.
Steve.
Thank you much. Big tag team matchup.
There you go. Jim Cornette promo on the day. All right, so he addressed a couple of things, the Clarence Mason thing and the Jose Lothario thing. So let's start with the Clarence Mason thing. All right, so this whole thing, I think we gave ratings to. I gave it a half thumbs up. I think Cornette was funny.
He was.
He addressed the situation with Clarence Mason, and the match was kind of a secondary thing. The match between the Body Donnas and Owen and the British Bulldog was very in the background, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But Vlad didn't give this anything, so Vlad not excited about Cornette trying to get back at Clarence Mason at all, huh? Okay. Interesting.
No, not really.
And then the other storyline I'm going to jump to is number 7 on our review of this episode of Raw is Cornette wanting revenge on Jose Lothario. So he made mention that somehow he's gotten a match, a tag team match, and he's going to continue on the feud. Him and Vader against Jose Lothario and Shawn Michaels. And he lost that match. He lost it horribly. So, you know, that feud, he wants that feud to continue, but he kind of looks ridiculous. But okay, I gave it a half thumbs up still, just because it's funny. But Vlad, again, 0, indifferent, nothing here. So, all right, Cornette struggling here with you to get some positive ratings.
No, I mean, look, he kind of could promo, but during this thing, but come on, dude. I mean, him and Clarence Mason, him and Jose Lothario, I mean, those are not going to be exciting feuds. Plus, they already had the match.
You don't think that's going to get them ratings going up against WCW?
No, not really. As much as I love Cornette, and he was good here too, but no.
Kind of funny because we will talk about Sunny in a little bit as we talk about how she's valeting for Farouk in that Intercontinental title match. But yeah. Sunny, like the roles are reversed. Back then, she was like the wildly popular person on the internet and way more famous person. And now in 2025, Cornette is now the completely super popular person on the internet, 500,000 YouTube subscribers, wildly successful podcast, and Sunny is like nothing. So, but yeah, at this time, Cornette was not very hot, I guess, in terms of the wrestling business.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say he had a great wrestling mind still, but his heyday has always been in the 80s. Let's just be honest. He was more part of like creative and stuff like that. But I guess he had a decent beginning to his WWF run when he was the manager of Yokozuna. But they didn't really give him a lot to work with after that. is the problem. Yeah,
he's just a loudmouth who kind of, brags and very braggadocious, but in the end, he doesn't really win, so he has no credibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's still a great heel manager, but yeah, no, the stuff that he was doing is probably the worst stuff of his career, most likely. The stuff that he was doing for the WWF years is probably the worst stuff of his career.
All right, well, last little watch-along, really short one, last thing we'll play before we call it a night is the Jeff Jarrett stuff. So this was I was very surprised to see this, but I did look up when Jeff Jarrett, because we reviewed the Jeff Jarrett debut in WCW, because he's leaving here, and that's why they're gonna take little jabs at him on his way out. But he hasn't debuted yet, so he's left.
Yeah, he's not.
But he's not debuted, but he's gonna debut soon on Nitro.
Gotcha.
My title here for this storyline, I'm calling it, is Jeff Jarrett a fraud, because Vince McMahon has a video package where he reveals that Jeff Jarrett never actually sung any of the songs that he pretends to sing. So I'm gonna play this, and you guys can zoom in if you want to watch it, but really we're just going to listen to what Vince is saying.
Not only was he going to battle Shawn Michaels, the self-proclaimed greatest entertainer in the world was going to perform his hit song, With My Baby Tonight, live on stage in front of all of his naysayers. But tonight, on Monday Night Raw, the man Double J, Jeff Jarrett, exposed. As we are going to show you in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, via videotape, Double J Jeff Jarrett was simply country music's version of Milli Vanilli. Check it out.
So they're showing Jeff Jarrett singing a song, but Vince McMahon is saying he's Milli Vanilli. He's a lip syncer. He's not a real singer.
Right.
This is the stab he's taking at Jeff Jarrett as he leaves. But I mean, did anyone actually think Jeff Jarrett is a country music singer? Like, did anyone actually think this? But okay.
Just wasn't a poor lip sync. Indeed, Double J Jeff Jarrett never sang the song. He never even recorded it, ladies and gentlemen. Double J Jeff Jarrett was about to be exposed, and that very night he walked out on the World Wrestling Federation. However, next week, the man who really sang the song with my baby tonight. That's right here next week, ladies and gentlemen, on Monday Night Raw, the man who was ripped off by Double J is going to join us. That's right, the man who really sang with my baby tonight, the real Double J, right here next week.
The real Double J. All right, so you made comment, Vlad, in our review post that this is very petty shit from Vince McMahon here, huh?
Yeah, this is more classic Vince being just ridiculous. Dude, just get over it. He left. He was going to WCW. You don't have to be like such an asshole. But I think he's always had an issue with Jeff. You know, and that goes back, I guess, maybe to Jeff. Maybe because of they had like the territory in Memphis, or I don't know. There was some stuff, but I don't really know where
has beef with his parents or with his father. As a
maybe
you're saying.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Jeff Jarrett always was very full of himself. Like, you know, he won't take a backseat to anyone. He's like, my family's just as much a part of this business as your family is. So it's probably hard to deal with. But yeah, this, regardless, even as a stab at someone to try it's not even good, yeah.
Because it was really showing how stupid the stuff they were doing in '95 was with Jeff Jarrett singing. Like, what the hell? What was even going on at that time? I mean, I kind of vaguely remember this, but as far as him singing, but man, this was bad. Yeah, this was bad. So,
all right, so you gave it a thumbs down. I'm at -3 points. I gave it a pissed off, angry face because I'm a big Jeff Jarrett fan. And how dare you run down Jeff Jarrett? He's the man, bro. He started TNA.
That's right.
But I do respect Jeff Jarrett. So as a wrestling figure, very much. So yes, I think this is a weird segment. This is a very weird one to me. But okay, I think that's all we got for watch-alongs. Other than that, I'll just mention some of the other things that happened on this show, just for completeness' sake. Let's see what else we got. The Mark Miro thing. I do want to mention that. So Mark Miro was the finalist in his Intercontinental title tournament with Farouk. Him and Farouk and Sable was his valet. So on the face of it, this kind of seems like a weird thing to, you know, be a final of an Intercontinental tournament with all the people who were in the tournament. But it does make sense though when you look at the valets. It's Farouk and Mark Miro, but the valets are Sable and Sonny. So they're there, you know, kind of. So it's a superstar valet showdown, really. But Sonny got kicked out by Pat Patterson, who was the referee for this match. The first ever Intercontinental champion. But, by the way, sorry about that. I didn't have the TV on bigger. But yeah, here's the image of Sable and Sonny on the outside. So this is before Sonny got kicked out of the match. And then Sonny got kicked out and ended up coming back. So here she is getting kicked out. And here she is coming on the way back. And then she has a face-off with Sable. Can you believe this? Sonny and Sable. And they have like a little cat fight. So here's Sable pulling Sonny off the apron. And then here's them slapping at each other. Good shit. But anyways, Mark Miro wins. And I think this is the start of a little push for Mark Miro because he's going to be the Intercontinental champion. And he's got Sable at his side, who everybody loves and thinks is amazing. But okay. I think I was never really a Mark Miro fan. So I don't know if this is where I'd be going with this storyline either, in terms of their feud with WCW and trying to get ratings. Is Mark Miro the guy they want to be pushing, Vlad? I don't know. I don't think this worked out for them. But
That's right. But no, I mean, I think, yes, of course, they liked that he came in with his attractive wife, Sable. But no, I think they thought he was a good worker in WCW, which he was. And they tried to give him a pretty decent push here and even put the IC title on him. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole, he had the whole Little Richard gimmick. Like, he looked like Little Richard, and he was the wild man. It just really wasn't an interesting gimmick. It wasn't an interesting character. That's probably what failed him in the future, or what's going to fail him in the future. But yeah, I mean, a worker, he was all right. He was okay. He had some good matches. I know guys wanted to work with him, but the gimmick, and then later on with the stuff with Sable.
Sad end to his career. This is like the high point. He's like getting ready to get pushed, and then in the end, Sable's going to become the bigger star than him, and he's going to get pushed out. Sable's going to become the superstar. So
basically, yes.
Pretty funky ending. But okay, let me move on to, let's see, a couple things. Well, we mentioned the Mr. Perfect thing and Triple H thing. That one we glossed over, so I don't really want to cover that too deeply. But the last thing is the ECW guys. So the ECW guys, they showed up the night before at Mind Games, and on this one they did show up as well during the Body Donna's Owen Hart British Bulldog match. So again, you see there was a lot of stuff going on during that match that made it not a very exciting match. Important match. Yeah, there was just other things. So ECW guys, again, I think Taz was there.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah, so they kind of slight distraction. They didn't really focus in on them. And then JR had a good moment where he said, "These guys wrestle in a bingo hall."
Yes.
They wrestle in a bingo hall. So, okay.
That's probably what he thought of this wrestling. I'm sure.
All right. So there you go. That's our review of WWF Raw from September 23rd, 1996. I think, again, another loss to WCW.
Oh, yeah.
So this is probably one of the lower points of WWF. Some people were thinking WWF could go under it, could go out of business at this point. So especially with how bad they were going. But all right, that's it. Unless you have any final thoughts, I'm going to go to my honorable mentions for the night for this week.
No, let's go to your final or honorable mentions. Excuse me.
All right. I got a couple. Let's see.